Good morning, class. So today we are going to be discussing traits, which we've already talked about prior to this lesson. So everyone knows what traits are. We know what inherited behaviors are, learned behaviors are. And today, our big idea, of course, are to know that traits are observable characteristics that can be passed down from parent to offspring. We know that inherited traits are physical characteristics that have been passed down from parents to offspring as well. And we know that heredity is the passing of characteristics from one generation to another. So very briefly, I would like to go over instinctive behavior or inherited behavior and learned behavior before we move on to today, where we will be taking an inventory of our own traits. Very exciting. Okay, so first and foremost, let's just review, okay? Let's pull it back just a little bit. Okay, so instinctive or inherited behaviors, they are not learned, okay? These are passed down, not learned. Then we have, which I've already stated, they're passed down from your parents. They cannot be changed. Okay, some examples are birds flying south, bears hibernating, yawning, and sleeping, when tired. Now we're going to take a quick look at what learned behaviors are, some examples of learned behaviors. If my remote would work, that would be awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to move a little closer so that you guys can see. Learned behaviors we have, okay, bear with me, I'm my own camera person. Sometimes an animal learns as they interact with their world. Learned behaviors can be changed, and it can occur when an animal seeks to avoid or repeat a new experience, okay? So we know what learned behaviors are, we know what inherited behaviors are, we know what traits are, we know what heredity is. Like, we are on a roll, okay? So now we are going to move on to an inventory of our traits. If I can just make this big, that would be great. Okay. Technically using technology, I'm learning. We got a new smart board, and just bear with me for 1 second. And I'm back. Okay, so today we're going to be doing an inventory of our own traits. So let's get to it. So for those of you that can't see, I'm going to read off of the board because I know that the lighting is kind of a little messed up. So just bear with me, please. Again, we're going to talk about what traits are. Traits are observable characteristics that are passed down from parent to child. Maybe I can just adjust this just a little. That doesn't help at all. Okay, I'll leave that alone. And an individual has many traits that they share in common with others. We all know that, right? Okay. So, some traits are more common in the population than in others, as you can see here. Some regions tend to have people that look a lot more like each other. And an individual's overall combination of traits is what makes them unique. So that's what makes me different from you and you different from myself. Let's roll back. So some traits that are inherited, okay? Some traits that are inherited, that means it's what? Not it is, I tricked you, it is passed down from parent to offspring, excuse me. So some of the inherited traits would be detached earlobes. We can't help that, okay? That's not something learned. We can't help how our earlobes are. And attached earlobes. Tongue rolling and non-tongue rolling. He's such a cutie pie. Dimples in your cheeks or having smooth cheeks. being left-handed or right-handed. These are all examples of inherited traits. Freckles or no freckles. I don't have any freckles, but my brothers have freckles. Weird. Naturally curly hair or straight hair. No allergies and allergies. Being able to place your left thumb over your right or your right thumb over your left. Try it at home. These are still, we're going over inherited traits. We have red-green colorblind, or you see that you're able to see the colors red and green. And you know what? Just let's see right now. How many of you can actually see, I think when I step in front of the light, okay. How many of you guys can actually see the red and green in this picture? And how many of you guys can't see it at all in that picture over there? Okay, so if you can see the colors, great news, you are not colorblind. If you cannot, then you are red and green colorblind. Straight hairline or having a widow's peak. The widow's peak kind of looks like a McDonald's arch, just a tad bit. Okay, so I'm gonna end that there, and then now we're going, since we know about more examples of inherited traits, we know now our learned behaviors, we are ready to go for today's activity, which is an inventory of our own traits. Okay, this is actually not what I wanted to put up. Okay, so today's activity. All right, so the first part of today's activity, you will have to do an inventory or a survey of your own traits. So I'm just gonna pull the camera up a little closer so that you can see what some of the questions are asking. I have detached earlobes. Check yes or no. I can roll my tongue. I have dimples. I am right-handed. I have freckles. I have naturally curly hair. I have a cleft chin. I have allergies. I cross my left thumb over my right when I clasp my hands together. I can see the colors red and green. I am not colorblind. The hairline on my forehead is straight. And let's see what 12 and 13 are. Well, 12 is just I am a, and then you would select male or female. Okay. And then I'm going to put you guys into groups of 4. These groups of 4, I want you to be able to take an inventory of your own traits as well as your classmates' traits, okay? So when you're in this group of 4, you have to tell me how many people in your group have each trait, the same traits that you just went over. You're going to fill in the data table below by counting the number of people who marked yes and the number of people who marked no, okay? So I'm going to come a little closer so that you guys can see what it looks like, okay? So here, the traits are detached earlobes, tongue rolling, dimples, right hand, freckles, natural curly hair, cleft chin, allergies, cross the left thumb over the right, see the colors red and green, and having a straight hairline. You will tell me yes or no if the people in your group have that, or how many people in your group have it yes, how many people in your group do not have it, okay? Next, and this is sideways, I want you all to create a graph. The graph that you will create, you're gonna make a bar graph showing how many in your people in your group answered yes for each trait and how many people in your group answered no. Be sure to label each trait under the bar you drew for it, okay? And then lastly, I have the same instructions in Spanish for my bilingual students, and we are going to get started. Once this is all over with and we've done our survey, we're going to compare it with the class, and then we're going to do a really quick review, okay? So let's just do the quick review one more time before moving on to today's lesson. So we know that traits are characteristics passed down from parent to offspring, okay? We know that we could have inherited traits, and then we could have learned behavior or learned traits, okay? Examples of inherited behavior or inherited traits are tongue rolling, dimples, cleft chin, I have one. And we know that learned behaviors are things that can be changed, okay? Like our hair color, how fast we run, okay? These are not genetically passed down characteristics. These things can be changed, okay, over time. If we can sing, we don't come out the womb just singing like Mariah Carey. You know, that takes practice. And yeah, so we also know that heredity is the passing of characteristics from one generation to another. And of course, we stated already that we know what traits are. So right now, I want you guys to get into your groups of, let's say, 5. And I don't want there to be more than 5 students in a group, okay? So 4 to 5 students in a group. You're going to take your own survey first. Then you're going to take a survey of the people in your group. Then you're going to create a bar graph for the students in your group that has these inherited characteristic or inherited traits, and for your classmates that do not. So today's big idea, we were supposed to know what traits are, and we do, and we also were supposed to be able to take an inventory of our own traits. Thank you so much. My name is Shireen Johns, and I hope you guys enjoyed my lesson as much as I enjoyed sharing with you. Have a wonderful day and be blessed.